like to hear from 4 or 5 different people about what you see when you look at this painting. William. Okay, so the man is tired from working in the field. And when you said he was tired, what in the painting made you feel like he was tired?
He's leaning on the thing and he just looks tired.
Okay, so the position of his body makes him look tired to you? Morel.
In the background, I see mountains and smoke.
Okay, in the background you see mountains and smoke. That's something that you actually see. Erica.
He looks weary because like when somebody usually working outside, it's like heroic, and he just looks like tired and lonely because he out there all by himself.
So there's a poet, Edward Markham, who actually wrote a poem about this painting, and that's the poem that we're going to analyze today. So we are going to use collaborative inquiry to analyze this poem. So somebody tell me, what's the first thing we do in collaborative inquiry? Read and annotate or render. So what does that mean when we render the text? What does that mean? Yes, you're underlining, you're circling. What are you looking for the first time? Imagery. Daniel, would you please read for us? The Man with the Hoe.
The Man with the Hoe by Edward Markham. Bowed by the weight of centuries, he leans upon.
Though there's certainly more writing and thinking to be done, let's pause for a moment and share what our thoughts are. Shay, can you start us off? What's an image that you picked out?
The first image I picked out was the first 3 lines. Bowed by the weight of the century, he leans upon his hoe and gazes on the ground. Of course, it matches the painting we saw, but I also have a question. It says, "Is the thing the Lord God made and gave to have the dominion over sea and land." I want to just know, and I'm asking anybody in here, does anybody know what the thing is? Because I see it's capitalized like it's something important.
So we're going to hold answering that question. That's a great question. And when we share it out in a seminar, that's definitely a question that we can investigate. So why did you pick out this?
William gave me an idea, and he said that an ox works in the field. And so he's in the field, so it's comparing the man and the ox.
So now, when we think of an ox, what kind of animal is an ox? Like, strong. So it's not necessarily like a graceful, like beautiful animal. It's just like a hard-working, strong, kind of earthy. So when you make that comparison there, now as you go through the end of the poem, you've got maybe about another minute left. I want you to think about how these images might relate to that idea, right? That comparison. Okay, scholars, please pause your questioning and your investigation just for a moment so that we can share and collect a common list of questions. Let's start with clarifying questions. Did anybody have a right there or a clarifying question that they had to ask? Renee?
It's about, say, when she talked about the thing, I think it's slavery.
Okay, so a right there question is something that we can point to, right? Right there. So would that be a right there question?
It would.
What kind of question would that be?
It'd be, thinking search.
As a higher level question, yes.
How is this poem related to Marxist criticism?
Okay, why did you ask that question, Tenway?
Because when it talks about the protest, which is also a prophecy, it sounds like they're going to rebel against the people who are richer than them.
That's a great question. And we are going to spend some time organizing our thoughts and preparing for a discussion. So which of these questions do you think are the most rigorous or the most challenging questions? Avery?
Remember she asked about how does the poem relate to Marxist criticism?
Okay, yeah, that's a really great question.
What is the significance of biblical allusions?
Okay, so looking at the biblical allusions in all the different places in the poem. Turn and talk to your partner. Pick out a couple of important pieces of text from the poem that relate to some of the questions that you've asked, and prepare yourself for a seminar. All right, so we are going to begin the seminar. I'm going to remind you that some of the thematic questions invite us to talk about things outside of the text, which is okay, but we want to always make sure we have text and relate back to the text. Alex?
The question is, how does his thoughts and feelings relate to his freedom? I think that, like in the poem, it say, to whom's breath blew out the light within his brain. It's in the first stanza at the
First
end.
time after life.
Can you read it for us again?
It says, whose breath blew out the light within his brain, within this brain. So I feel like he's saying, like, if he doesn't feel like he's thinking or is educated, then he's like a slave to whoever is more educated or has more knowledge than he does.
Yeah, I agree with you saying, because, like, just looking at it saying whose breath blew out the light within his brain, they're saying, like, they blew out the educational knowledge in his man, because they thinking he could be a slave, so, yeah, I agree with you.
With the burden on his back, he understands that he's so far away from his life goal that he was when he first started. It's like he done put himself on the other side. He was on the ship in the middle of the water, and he thought he was sailing one way, and then realized he sailed to the wrong shore.